Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and so today I was telling you guys that we'll play with some of the things that I colored with the ARTEZA EverBlend markers. And so this is the tree that we colored yesterday, and we're going to do something crazy and fun, and I got the idea off of Instagram, and I will try to remember to link the lady who did the original one of these. And so, I mean, mine's quite a bit different, but the idea for it is what I'm saying. So I have taken a regular composition notebook and just cut the top portion off, which I didn't do a very stellar job, but this is just going to be, for me, this little book, kind of just a funny little thing, but like maybe to put ideas and stuff like that in. And I'll probably put different paper here and all that, but this is as far as I got. I just cut it off using an X-Acto blade and a ruler, and you can see that sometimes it's hard to get all the little pieces. I inked the edges, and then I put a piece of Tim Holtz 8x8 paper on the front here. And so I'm going to take my crazy little tree that we did yesterday. Actually, you know what's got to go first is the moon. It's going to go about there, roughly. Maybe kind of in that space where there's a little more room. He's obviously supposed to be behind the tree. And then our little owl will sit up here somewhere, something like that. So it kind of looks like he's on a branch or something. All right, so the first thing I need to do then is glue those down. I'm trying to figure out my spacing. So I had this guy here, and I want him basically with his fingers touching that edge. And because I have to do this for the spacing to work out right, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and put him there using art glitter glue just to make sure that he stays there. So I hope you guys are having an awesome day. I had so much fun playing with those markers. Oh my goodness, they are just the coolest thing, I think. I think they're great. I mean, like I said, I am no you know, professional drawer or artist. I know there's a lot of people that have done reviews for ARTEZA, and I've seen mainly good reviews, so I think they're good even for people that do you know, a lot of drawing, a lot of like graphic design type drawing. But I just love them for, you know, kind of like stuff we do like this. Is they worked great. Okay, and then I'm going to take the tree, and it's going to go kind of over, well, it needs to almost go over his arm a little actually to make everything fit right. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to glue these guys here. And that'll go about there. Did I ink that yet? Nope. I thought I had everything inked, but apparently not. So yeah, it was fun coloring with those, and I'll link them in the description box again just in case you didn't see that video. I love this idea, and just wait until you guys see. It's just funny. Cracks me up. Great idea. I think the lady's name is Barbara, just based on her Instagram name thing. So we're going to go like that and get it all the way kind of up to the top. Get all our glue splotches off, hopefully. And that's the only problem with this paper being so dark. It's like you can see every little extra thing that you get on there, which is kind of a bummer. Ink my little owl here. This is, both of these pieces are Tim Holtz pieces, and then of course the paper dolls, you guys probably already know those are Tim Holtz. I mean, you can cut stuff like that out of like old pictures, you know, people like this, but kind of has to go over his arm. So I have to get the placement all right here when I do this. I like being able to see his foot down there though. I should have put him up just a skosh higher because I don't think I can really go down any further. It really has to be here for the placement, so I guess it'll be his toes hanging out a little bit. Like I said, this is going to be mine, so I'm not that worried about it. So I'm going to do it there, kind of like that branch that the owl's on is, you know. It's going to be tricky because I don't want to lose my spot at all. It's very precise, right? I did tilt him a little bit. I think that's right. Yeah. Okay. That's going to go like that. Yeah, that works. This just has to go down a teeny bit. All right, and then these two are going to look like they're sitting up on a branch that isn't there, but we're going to pretend it's there. So I kind of put his coat behind because, you know, then it looks more like he's sitting on the branch than if his coat were on the front. And then I kind of put his elbow over because you'd want his elbow showing. And then I cheated and cut the branch off that was right here on the tree, and I'm gonna hide it behind her a little bit just so that it looks like, you know, there's a branch that goes all the way across like that. So that's the plan. Now if I can make that work, I will be doing good. So let's see if we can do it. So I think, trying to decide if I want to glue down that tree yet. I think I'm going to glue down like part of it and not all of it so that I can get them kind of where they need to be and get them to stay there. And I'm not going to put glue all the way all over them either yet because we got to get that branch tucked under the lady. He can have glue and that's fine, but I don't want glue all over her quite yet. It's always interesting layering these things up. So we had fun last night. My son, his high school band played and marched their whole show for us because we haven't seen the whole thing yet this year because we haven't had any competitions or any of that. So it was really fun to get to see the whole thing. I mean, we've seen them march at football games, but I can put glue all down here, huh? But, you know, that's, of course, a little bit different than... I'm going to leave a little of this open because I have something I'm going to do with him. But yeah, they just had a blast, and at the end they kind of played all their pep songs that they play when they're at the football game to support the football team. And oh my gosh, my son's on the drum line because he plays the cymbals, and that drum line just gets cooking. They are so awesome. I love drum lines anyway. It's just so fun and like upbeat, and you know, it was just cool to watch because they just have a blast. But they were all funny, dancing and carrying on like they do. But it was good to see them all happy and having fun because it hasn't exactly been the funnest year in the world, as we all can attest to. So it was just good to see them having a good time. I kind of wanted them up a little bit more, but they're stuck now, so that's where they're staying. So I need to figure out how I want this branch. So it kind of comes across like that. But I have to figure out kind of by looking at her dress how to do it. I think it needs to scoot down a little bit more. See if I just scooched her up a little bit more. Probably would have been better. Let me look at it. I think that looks right. Hopefully. I mean, it's not perfect, but let's face it, that is not really my gig. Perfection. I just, as we all do, struggle with that because nobody's perfect. Okay, come on, glue. I don't want to get too much, but I need some. Okay, wipe that off too. And then she's going to need a little more glue on this side of her as well, so that she's not lifting up all the time. I got a little carried away, like always, with the glue. I didn't get her hat or her head or anything. Okay, so I think they're good on there. And I thought about putting this here, but I don't think I'm going to now because I forgot, so he kind of looks a little bit weird. Well, I might be able to tuck it in there. I just felt like he needed, that tree needed a little more branch. Yeah, I think I do need that. I didn't know this is what I would be doing with it when I drew it, so. But, I mean, it's fine. Just trying to get it to look sort of like it's attached. And I don't want it right in his face either. Can I lift that? Sorry, I think I keep sticking my head in the camera. I think I'll just snip that little bit right here off the white, more of the white edge, just kind of. There we go. So it'll tuck right down by his face there. I don't know why I cared about that, because that's not going to matter in a minute. It doesn't line up great, but alright, so then what she did is she took like pumpkins and she put them on the heads as the heads of the people, the Tim Holtz people. It cracks me up. That's why this is going to be mine, because it just makes me laugh. So I'm going to put that one there and those ones up there. And I know a lot of people don't like stuff like that because it's kind of creepy, but I think these are just funny, so hopefully it's not too creepy. I kind of think of it like they have little pumpkin masks on, you know. I like kind of zany, weird Halloween stuff. I don't like horror. I think I've talked about this a million times, but I do like kind of that kooky, off-the-wall thing. I kind of like that anyway. That's why I like those paper dolls and stuff with the big bobbly heads, but I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. Just a little. But I think those are hilarious. And like I said, I'll try to remember to link hers so you can see the original. If I want that under, probably, yeah. Okay, and then I need to glue down my tree branch the rest of the way. So this is just a silly thing, but these are all going to be kind of silly things because of my drawings. They're all goofy looking. So that was the nature of them. So yeah, doing these altered composition notebooks is super fun too. That's a great, easy way to make a journal if you know, just want a place to write or whatever. you could just, you know, cover the front, put a few pockets in, and, you know, have a cute little journal. And that would be a very easy way to start, especially if you haven't ever done a journal or just sewing in signatures or whatever. You can just use a altered notebook. And so then I just have this little cluster of stuff. I think I'm going to just kind of put right down here, just because I feel like it kind of needs something down there. And that's from that circle die cut that I have. I got from, I can't remember if it was In Love Arts or BB Craft, but it was one of those. And if I can figure it out, I'll link it, but I'm not going to give you any guarantees on that, because sometimes it's hard for me to find that stuff again, because their sites are so like vast. When you go looking for things, it seems like I can never find that one particular thing again for some reason. They just have so much stuff. And this was not this summer, but the summer before, I think, when or it might have been last year this time. I know it was somewhere around there. So it's been a while. This isn't something new that I got. But you could use, you know, a piece of book page or some other texture type element like a piece of fabric. There's lots of other stuff that you could use and get a similar effect. And that's out of my Spooky Stamps digi. This spooky, and I just inked it and roughed it all up. And then this is a piece of Tim Holtz ephemera. Those just crack me up every time I look at that. It just makes me laugh. So it's just worth it for that, because it makes me laugh. So there it is, just a little altered notebook cover. Too funny. All right, so the next thing that I wanted to do, I have all kinds of little things. Oh, I wanted to show you guys how I did the bag. Not that this is rocket science or anything like that, but I just made a bunch of these clusters, and it's just like any other fabric cluster. I used like this green burlap, and then like creepy cloth, a piece of tulle with some sparkle that I got at the dollar store, and then just a piece of that webbing from the dollar store. And I just stitched all around, however, so you can see it better on the back. But yeah, and the same thing. This is a little piece of trim that Allie, the Cockney Crafter, gave me. Thank you, Allie. And so, you know, it's cool because of the orange and then other stuff all piled up. So that's the same as this one, the way that I did it. And then these bags, obviously, I'm sure that you can totally already tell how it was done, but I'm going to do this one a little bit different because I thought this one would be good. You could put treats, but the little votive, like I showed you yesterday, the little candle, faux candle, I wouldn't put a real candle in there unless you want to like burn down your house. But yeah, so I'm going to cut some of this off, but not all of it. So I'm just going to go like here, and then we're going to ink it up, and it's probably not straight, but it's fine. And I'm just using the black soot. You could stamp on there, you could do all kinds of things. I want this obviously to be the front because it doesn't have the seam. And you could use other colors, like if you have the Distress Oxides or something. I just don't, I only have some of it, a couple of inks. So, yeah, but if you had like lots of colorful ones, you could use some purple or orange or, you know, all different type ones. I like the more cute, fun Halloween. A little off, so little off the wall stuff is good, but don't like the horror. So then we're going to pretend you put some candy inside. I am not buying any candy until next week when I don't have a choice. Oh, you gotta kind of do this part too. I always forget the sides until I open it. Yeah, I'm just refusing this year. I'm not buying any until right before because I know that'll limit what I can get, but I buy it and then we eat it. And then I have to go buy more. So, not doing it. It's just so hard to stay out of that stuff, especially because, you know, you usually get something you like. I even love just Tootsie Rolls. Oh my gosh. They're really squishy, soft ones. Sorry, this is probably really loud. For some reason, this camera really picks up paper sounds, so I apologize if that's deafening. Okay, so we're going to pretend we put some candy inside of there. But I don't have any candy, so. And then you just pull the top, like, you know, you would if you had a treat. These bags are really crooked. Like, look, that wasn't me. That's the bag. And then just fold it over. And we'll add our little Frankenstein here. I had too much fun coloring him. I like that. I like how that turned out. He's just cute. Cute and goofy. Okay. And I just zigzagged all over because that to me felt like Frankenstein, and that has creepy cloth, actual burlap, the green burlap, and some of that fabric that I got from Vintage Polka Dot Shop. So I'm going to, actually let's put him on first. We're just going to staple him on because of course it's hard to get things like this to stick very well. Sorry Frank, but I think I'm going to put the staple right up here in your head. I'm sure it's not the end of the world. And then maybe one more kind of over on his arm, just so he's not totally flapping all over the place. And then, you know, just put your candy in. Add a little, oh, we could say candy. Yeah, let's just do that one. Or the trick or treat would be another good one. But I want to use the candy. Yeah, I'm horrible. That's like my vice, is sweets. So I really just cannot have them in the house, especially because I'm the one here all day, every day. And I can't stay out of it. So I don't want it here. So I'm refusing this year until it gets closer to time. I think I'm going to turn it kind of like that. And I should have hooked that in from the beginning too, because like this one I stapled in and that worked much better, but I'm just going to glue this and it'll stay fine. Especially for just a little treat for somebody. Put quite a bit there. Alright, so there's a little treat. So those are fun, and then of course that one you already saw. Works great too if you wanted a treat or a little votive holder. Okay, so what else do we have? Let's do a card. Kind of got an idea because I wanted to get a few things done, not just, you know, one thing. I don't need that for that, but I do need it for this. Little ghosty. So if you fussy cut and leave the white edge, which you kind of have to only because of like the, you know, vines on the pumpkin, you could snip those off if you just wanted to go right up to it and cut it. because I think those would be really hard to cut otherwise. But it looks pretty good inked. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm kind of weird about those kind of edges. And I just cut, this is a piece of the same digi, the spooky stamps. And I just shrunk this piece down. It was one of the like whole page size, and I shrunk it down to 5 by 7 so I could get 2 on a page. And then this is just like a half of one, well, not even half, a little bit less than half of one of the sheets of paper. Okay, so I'm going to put that on this side. Halloween cards are always fun to make. That's what I used to, that's what I started. Oh yeah, I just completely annihilated that glue. With making, before I even started scrapbooking, was cards. Like I said, I was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for a bit. That's really what got me started on paper crafting, was Stampin' Up! Oh my gosh, don't do that. So, yeah, crazy how it evolves, you know. I don't know why I always have to cut the glue with the paper. And I made a mess. I have one of those goo remover things. I just don't know where it is at the moment, so I'll get that. Is it in this box? Sorry, I just want to see if I can find it so I can get that cleaned off. It's all the way at the bottom of this box of random things that float around on my desk. I can't remember what these things are called, but you can usually get them in the craft section. They're just like a weird, if anybody knows what they're called, put it down in the comments. But yeah, they're like an eraser, but they don't, you know, erase necessarily. They just take off the glue, that smudgy, goopy glue stuff, which is very nice. See, that cleaned that up really nice. And I had one ages ago. I don't know what I did with it, and I was at the craft store and saw that and was like, ooh, I need one of those. So this is another just crazy little cluster there, and it's just a, I don't even know, this is almost like sweatery type material, but it's super thin, and the tulle and just pieces of creepy cloth and the green burlap there. So we're gonna, I'm not closing my glue, so I'm probably gonna be sorry here. Just put some art glitter glue, but you could use Fabri-Tac. I just do not use Fabri-Tac, as most of you know. I think I'll just kind of, I don't know if I want, no, I think I want it on top. Even though it's kind of a lumpy bumpy, because otherwise you'll miss part of the ghost. So I was going to use the glue stick, but I don't think that'll work with the edge going up on the fabric. I can't talk. I'm talking like a robot. I don't know what it is when I get doing this stuff and I'm trying to concentrate. I just can't talk at the same time. It doesn't work. Okay, now that I messed up my glue, I'm going to have to fold this page over since I got half the stick stuck on there. All right. And maybe we could take one of these, if there's a little one. I need a little one. One of these little boo ones would work. I have the 31 right there. Oh, I know what we could do. I'm going to grab some eyelets. my loud banging thing because that's what I have to put eyelets in, so I'm sorry. I know that that's annoying, but I don't have one of those crocodiles. I think I'm going to invest in one, but I just haven't. I just have had all this stuff, and it feels silly to buy more stuff when you have stuff that works perfectly fine. But now that I do videos, I know that it is super annoying to listen to this. I'm going to come actually down here at the bottom. I'm just poking the hole, but I already have some spots where I did this. So there's the hole. What color are we going to put in it? Maybe purple, if I can get a hold of one. Because these are the size eyelets I still have from ages ago. Okay, plug your ears. I mean, they work great. I don't have to fuss with it at all, and it just works. But I know that it's super loud and obnoxious, so. I forgot to grab the bulb pins while I was over there. Just the black one. And you could put some other beads and things, but I think for now I'm just going to do this so I don't have to go searching for more things to drive you guys crazy with. And I'm just going to kind of go sideways on here because I don't want it totally covering up. I'm just going like all the way around the ghosts. Maybe that won't work with the pen, huh? It's all goofed up here. I think that'll work. We'll just glue this fabric down a little bit more over here. I think it'll stay over there just fine. Okay, so there's our little card. I love that. It's super cute. And then let's see, let's do a guest check, and we're going to make this simple. So I'm just going to do a little pocket. I'm going to take this tab that comes on and off, and I'm going to fold it back this way and just make a little pocket. I don't want a super tall pocket because otherwise I can't fit my tag in. I'm going to go right there. So you just have to consider the size of your tag, basically. We're going to ink that. And these are just obviously coffee dyed guest checks. Why did I do that? I was going to put the lid on, and then I thought no, and then I just set it on top. Brain. Okay. So that's going to go like that. We're going to glue this little flap down because we don't want it flapping about. Then we're going to take our little cluster, and this one's just got some purple fabric, some creepy cloth, and a piece of that net or web, whatever it is that you get at the dollar store. I'm going to have to kind of glue that all over here. It's really thin, luckily, so I think this will work. And we'll put a little extra glue just on the seam to make sure it stays down. But I don't want it grabbing everything on the pocket there, or you know, that goes in and out of the pocket. Doing good today with words. It's Sorry, my radio's on downstairs and I just realized how it just suddenly got louder, it seemed like. So I'm going to put that little spider on there with all his hairy legs. And I mean, if you wanted to take the time, you could take an X-Acto blade and cut in between those legs, but no thank you, I'll pass. Really not my thing. I think I'm going to kind of do him a little bit sideways. And like that way. I think I'm going to staple him because this would probably get attached to a book, you know, or a page or something. Put a little glue under him just so that he isn't catching things, hopefully. Except flies, that would be great. Flies at this time of the year, what is it? They lose their marbles entirely. I mean, they're horrible anyway, but they become like extra annoying in the fall, I think. Put that on there because it's tall and skinny. I just have to find some paper to put on there, and that's those book page pockets that I did the other day when I don't have another piece of my paper out, so I'm just going to use, I don't know if that's a lot of pumpkins, huh? Maybe we'll use some Tim Holtz instead. That's a whole lot of pumpkins. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, I know what I could use. I can find a piece of it again. I had sorry, I'm looking this from that. I'll put the link in the description box. I might have, oh, this would be kind of cool. That I dyed last year, I think. I do have some pieces of mine, but I think I'm going to go ahead and use that because that's kind of fun. With the green with the pumpkins. And I think I used food color on that. Pretty sure. So we're going to kind of do like we did with the fabric and just use a piece. I'll try to remember to link this shop again. But it's the one that I did the little hinge, the first hinge journal that I did for Christmas. It was that one. Because he had those sort of Florentine looking papers. And I know Roxy Creations does do Florentine paper, and I did get some last year, but I just didn't want to wait till it got here, basically. So I just went with this. I probably should have ordered one of her little paper packs, but I will probably regret it. Use my glue stick. The way I decide whether or not to use glue stick usually depends on, you know, like paper to paper, just flat paper to paper. I usually use the glue stick. And then pretty much anything else that needs to be glued down, I use either tacky glue or art glitter glue. I like art glitter glue mostly because it's got that super fine tip on it. But I do love tacky glue for like the covers of journals and things like that, because that stuff holds like crazy. So, and it's all a personal preference. You just have to find what you like and use that. I mean, that's really, there's no other trick to it or anything. It's just finding what works for you, and that's what works for me. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Fabri-Tac, and it's just because I cannot stand the way it feels on my hands. Like, I know it does a great job holding everything down, but I'm weird like that, like we talked about, I think a week ago or whatever, with texture. So certain textures just send me over the edge. So, and that just happens to be one of them. I just cannot stand it on my fingers. So I know, silliness, but that's why I don't use it. because I always get glue all over my fingers, which you guys see after every video. I'm just covered in ink and glue, so I don't seem to be able to craft cleanly. It's always just blah, a mess. So okay, and our little pumpkin stack here. And we'll have to back our little card or tag, whatever it's called, and ink it. Need a little, this one's still a little bit wet, but if I just dab it, I think it'll be alright. Okay, that's good for my fingers though. Get rid of some of the muck. Okay, I'm gonna back it with a coffee dyed, where is it? If I have one, 3x5 card. I have one coffee dyed, one not. And you could do it with the non-coffee dyed one and then ink it or something, but this just makes it that much easier. And I'm going to put the non-lined side out to write on because the lines are going the opposite direction. So I like having these little book page tags. I should just do a whole bunch of them because they're nice to just grab and use already with the shape and everything. I need to punch that hole out. And I'll stitch around this to close up that pocket, but I'll do that off camera because I don't have a way to have it on camera. Lots of people sew on camera anyway, so it's not like a completely foreign concept, I'm sure, to everybody. I mean, it is cool to see how people do stuff, but Gail does great with that. So I'm trying to find my little hole covers, reinforcers, whatever. And these I've just inked, and you can stamp them and all kinds of things too to decorate them up so they look fun on your items, because they will take the ink or whatever. So yeah, that'll just go right in there. And I know he gets covered, but you know, whenever you take it out, you see it. Oh, you know what, we kind of need something down there though, huh? So what should we put down there? Not ghost. There's no ghosts. I don't think I have any of the big ones that are right. They all say pumpkin or something. Got another spooky, but I don't even know that those guys are very spooky. We could just use some paper. Let's see. Another printy something. There's the original purple paper that I used on the digi, and I got that from Dee Farrago, and she sent me some, I don't know if she used food dye or Rit dye or what she used, but she got great color, and so I used those in the spooky stamp digi. They're just a great color, very vibrant. Could put spider web on there. Candy corn. There's no scarecrow. We did a lot of scarecrows. It's funny, you know, when you're standing there trying to think of words and things. I don't know. It's a lot harder than it seems like it should be. But and you end up with stuff that you're like, why didn't I do more of this or more of that, or I don't know. It's kind of funny. There's a little spider web. That one would be kind of good. We'll just do that. Goes with our little spider back there. I think I might go ahead and use the black around the edges anyway. Sticking to it. And I think since I haven't stitched this yet, I'm going to go ahead and I need a little of this on the front though. Staple it since it's not stitched yet. And I'll put a little glue behind. I should have printed those smaller. Do I have any littler pumpkin things? Just put the 31 there. Since it's tiny, tiny. I have another circle pumpkin patch, but that's too big. Happy fall. Maybe I'll just do happy fall. That's cute. Because these guys are kind of cute. Let's see, I need the itty bitty hole punch. Sorry, I just shook everything again. Good at that. Okay, I'm going to go around the edges with the black just so that we have some continuity here. I'm going to put something through that stitch around this, and then I will be right back, and so that you guys can see everything all together. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have stitched all the way around that, and then obviously the little tag comes out, so that's a fun little thing to, you know, put on a page. And then our little candy bag, and our little votive or candy bag, and our card. And if I was going to give this as a card, which, you know, I probably will, but I would put a piece of like coffee dyed paper, a square of it or rectangle of it or something, so that you can write on it, or you could use white pen or whatever. But anyway, and then the goofy little notepad. So anyway, I hope you guys liked that. I hope you have an awesome day, and we will chat again soon. Bye bye now.